Okay, so for last week, we're going to announce those who enrolled 2 or more coaches last week. Rosa Rosales for 2, Nicole Diglio 2, and if I butcher anyone's name, I'm really sorry. Liliana Burrio 2, Kim Schneider 2, Caitlin Kappa 2, Joe Policino 2, Francesca Calhoun 2, Caroline Nathan 2, Cami DeSico 2, Brooke Reed 2, Brittany Babbitt 2, and Renee Hawker with 3 new coaches last week. Congrats, Renee. And then as far as the top volume, top 20 for last week, Alyssa Sardelli, 882. Reve Chantel, 735. Kelly Marks, 730. Patrick Reelman, 675. Carrie Martabano, 587. Shelly Frank, 565. Brittany Babbitt, 555. Nick Waltz, 495. Beth Baker with 485. Leah Hall with 485. Kirsten Barnett with 484. Jenny Fries with 452. Tammy DeSico with 450. Brittany Sarah with 420. Lori Sanderson with 405. Jeff Lease with 400. Amy Morgan with 380. Myself with 375. Melinda Hall with 360. And Melissa Virgil with 350. Nice job, everyone. And I think that's it for recognition this week. I don't have the Success Club points. I guess I can list it off from the Boom Fam, but I don't know how accurate that is. Looks like Caroline Nathan, 11 points. For Success Club 10, we have Caroline Nathan with 11, Jill Wagner with 12, myself with 12, Carrie Martabano with 14. I think that's it for Success Club 10 for what we have updated. Good job, everyone, so far. And you still have a lot more time this month to hit Success Club 10. Okay, I am going to introduce Emma. Emma and I met at the 2-Star Leadership event in January. I was really impressed with her growth, and we just connected and then met each other again in Cancun and had a really fun time at the premiere and the elite event. So I just asked her to speak on our call because I know she's really good at sharing her story and stuff on social media, and I think that she's brought in some really great leaders to her team, connecting through Instagram and Facebook. So she's going to share with us how she stays consistent and is vulnerable with her business. So Emma, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be on this call, so thank you so much for asking me to speak to your team.
Yeah.
If anyone could just make sure that they're muted also so I don't have any back noise while I'm talking, that would be awesome. Okay, so I just wanted to start out, I guess, by sharing my story because I think that it has a lot to do with what I'm going to talk about with being consistent and being vulnerable. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Emma Owen, and I'm 24 years old. I started Beachbody 2 years ago, and I was 22. And I was at a place in my life where I was going to school. I was a nanny. And my husband, well, boyfriend at the time, now husband, he actually left for 6 months to go to school. So I was left kind of like a single mom, I guess, for 6 months while he worked his butt off. And before that, you know, I had always felt like a failure. I never was really great at school. I graduated with a 2.57. I went to Montana State in Billings for a year and ended up coming back because I got put on academic probation. So then after that, I went to school for early childhood education, and I thought that was my passion. I thought I had found what I wanted to do. I love kids, but then Beachbody came into my life. After struggling with depression in high school, And then after having Bentley, my son, who's almost 3, I suffered with postpartum, and I kept it really quiet. I would deny it to my doctors, but deep down, I knew that something was wrong. The thoughts that I had just weren't right. So hold on, my dog opened the door. I need to close it. Oh, never mind, my mom got it. So I was really struggling with postpartum depression, and that's when my friend started posting about her summer boot camp that she was having. And I was like, what is this? Like, we had gone to high school together and we were good friends, but I was like, what is this? And I had some like really bad experiences with 2 other friends who were in network marketing companies. And so I was like, I don't know, like, I don't want Shakeology. I was that one. I didn't get Shakeology at first, super skeptical. So I just got Brazil butt lift. I didn't sign up for the challenge pack. And I joined the challenge group. So just Brazil butt lift and challenge group. And I changed my eating habits. That was it. And I fell in love with it. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm getting such good results from doing this at home because I had a kid. I was a full-time student. I was a full-time mom. I worked as a nanny. There's no way I had time to go to the gym. So I needed something at home. So then when I signed up as a coach 2 months later, I actually posted my before and afters on Facebook before I had even signed up as a coach. I had just felt so amazing, and I had finally realized that that was what was missing in my life, not just for health and fitness, but because it really helped with my depression. I could seriously noticed a difference over 2 months with my depression. And so basically that's how I got into Beachbody. And then after I got into Beachbody, I really focused on really the 3 vital behaviors. But really what it came down to was being consistent and making my palms sweat and being vulnerable and like being really scared to share things on Facebook and on Instagram. There's no way I ever thought that I would post that I struggled with depression, because it does run in my family. My mom struggled with it too. And there's no way I ever thought that I was ever going to like post that publicly on Facebook. That's a really scary topic to talk about. And especially coming from a background where I personally felt the need to be somewhat perfect growing up, that was like a really fearful thing to get over. But I knew that if I was inspiring and I could change one person's life or one 21, 22-year-old's life that was maybe going through the same thing as I went through, then I was okay. Because I know that I wasn't alone. I know I wasn't the only one at the age of 20 to get pregnant. But I knew that I needed to make a change for myself, and that the only way doing that was going to be stepping outside of my comfort zone. And I lost a lot of friends when I joined Beachbody because they didn't understand what I was doing. They thought I was a scam. They made fun of me. But I've made thousands more, so it doesn't even matter to me. So be consistent, because what you're doing with being consistent with posting is building that trust. So you're building that trust through your pictures and through your words to them. So who's your Sally? Who's your audience, and who are you trying to talk to? Don't try an audience to everyone. Don't try and be everyone, because you cannot be everyone. Pick 3 to 5 things that are your interests that you love, and be consistent with posting about it. Every time you're posting or you're making a caption, think, okay, if you're trying to target yourself 3 or 4 years ago, think, okay, if I was at this point, would this attract me, or would this get me to come in and to find out more what you're doing? So make sure you're targeting your Sally and who you want to be talking to. Does anyone here get scared to be vulnerable on Facebook? Like, is that anyone's ever fear? Because I'm sure that's a lot of people's. Okay, so when you're thinking about being vulnerable, it didn't just come to me to be like, have it talk easy. It still isn't. Like, I still get scared to post things on Facebook, honestly, because the thing is you want to wait for that upswing. So say you want to be vulnerable and you want to talk about something. So like right now, I've just started easing my way into opening up about my debt. I had never talked about that. It's a really scary thing to talk about, but I know I'm not the only 24-year-old suffering from debt. I know I'm not the only one in this world that has debt. So when you open up about scary things like that, you're going to start to attract people that need help with the same things. And yeah, you might not be perfect. You might have no idea what you're doing, but you're trying to improve. You're trying to make this better. And hopefully you can bring them with you and teach them how to do it the same way that you're doing. Objections. So sorry. Someone
Can they?
Thank you. So when you are getting objections, basically what that means is they don't trust you as much. So I actually learned this, or one of my biggest takeaways, I guess, from Summit last year. I'm really excited for Summit this year. It's my second one. But last year was my first Summit. And when I was listening to the overcoming objections, it like totally just clicked with me. Of course, people aren't going to trust us if we're not vulnerable, if we do not share what's going on in our lives. So be vulnerable, because those objections are because people either, one, aren't knowledgeable and don't know enough about Shakeology or the workout program, or they don't have the trust with you. So making sure you're consistent with posting and being vulnerable will build that trust. And I've also hit Success Club 10 for, I think it's like 18 consecutive months now. So that says something too. I have not just helped 5 new people a month because I'm not posting, because I'm not being vulnerable. When I share my story, I know that I'm helping people even if they haven't reached out to me, because I know that people are watching me regardless. So next time you're scared to be vulnerable, or can I even give you guys like a task? Can you guys maybe be a little vulnerable tomorrow on like a Throwback Thursday or something like that? And maybe you guys can start like a thread with your team and share what you maybe posted that was vulnerable. Share in your team before, like your team page before, you post it. If it's so scary to do it, use that and just open up about one thing. And it doesn't have to be huge. It really doesn't. Just open up about something that you know will hopefully change or inspire someone's life that was maybe you 2 years ago. So, and think about having that upswing. So think maybe about something that you've been struggling with for a while, but maybe it's gotten a little bit better. And, something's been really changing in your life. Start opening up about that, because you're not the only one. I promise. We are not the only ones that have issues in our life. And if we can be that light, that kind of that aha moment of, oh my God, I was,
all the
2 years ago, then that's amazing, right? And who cares if they've reached, they have never reached out to you or they've never liked you. You guys follow up with people, following up, making sure you're consistent with following up. Because I read in GoPro, I don't know if many of you have read that, but in GoPro, he talks about how not following up is almost, what does he say? He says it's almost more rude not to, because basically it's like, you just think that you're another like challenge pack or whatever, just another sale. Like, don't think that you're going to be annoying, because you're not. They want you to follow up. They want you to be consistent with that, because that shows that you're really, truly caring. And be consistent with the business too, the business opportunity. I mean, don't think that you're ever gonna, think about if you never learned about this business opportunity. I don't know if you've heard this before, but I've heard some of the people in our upline talk about, if you were never presented this opportunity, how would you feel, right? Where would you be? So why are you holding it in? Why are you holding it back just for yourself? That's being selfish. You want as many people to know about this opportunity because clearly it's done something for your life, whether it's been big or small. And it doesn't have to just be with money. This has obviously done something. You have support. You have this team. You have your friends you've made, right? So be vulnerable. And like I said, if it's scary to post about on your normal page, post about it on your team page first. Get feedback from your team. See if they have any advice, and then post it. And see what happens. Just see what happens. Don't be afraid to stay inside your comfort zone, because nothing happens inside of that. So just be open and, really share about how maybe you used to love fast food and now Shakeology curbs that craving. I used to eat McDonald's every single day. Talk about how working out helps you with, your everyday life. How waking up in the morning, you look forward to working out now versus when you didn't look forward to working out. How it's helped, maybe like for me, it helps my stability mentally every day. Like if I don't work out in the morning, I'm a completely different person. Relate to people's lives because they've obviously, had the same things happen to you. So really just be vulnerable and don't be negative, obviously, because we don't want to portray a negative light, but be vulnerable in a sense where something has happened in your life and you've been able to change it and you've had that somewhat of that upswing and you can start talking about it and really relating to people. Because seriously, as time goes, you're going to be able to get more vulnerable as things go on. I definitely think that it definitely evolves the things that happen in your life. So just know that there's always a right time and a right place to share those things. And it's what's really helped my business. I mean, and don't even feel like you have to talk about just the business. Like I was talking to Amy, one of my personally sponsored is Brittany Powers. I don't know if you know who she is. And I met her over a pair of Nike Dunks on Instagram. I went to and posted it on Instagram and hashtagged it, and we ended up becoming really good friends. And now she's a rock star on my team. So you never know how you're going to connect and relate with people. You just post your life. I love wearing different stuff. I posted a pair of Nike Dunk heels, and now I have a rock star coach on my team because of that. So you just never know where you're going to meet these people and make relationships just because of some post that you're posting that's vulnerable about your life and what you're doing every day. So I don't know. That's really all I had. So you guys can, maybe questions or I don't know. Amy,
Yeah, thanks, Emma. That was awesome. I like how you said, don't be afraid or before you're posting, think about who you're trying to attract instead of just saying this is my breakfast today. Think about who you're attracting. So that's awesome. You're okay with it if we open it up to some questions? Okay.
Yeah, totally.
If anyone has a question, just unmute yourself and you can ask it.
Good chat.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to, I guess, put more my story out there, but I guess I just don't know how to start without saying just start. But did you talk about, I don't know, how you, specifically how your life has changed? How did you get started doing that? Or you just started typing? I don't know. How did you incorporate that into your fitness?
So I just really started talking about, throwing little things in there. So I would post my workout in the morning and I would say, I'm so glad I got up and got my workout in the morning because I know that I'm going to be a hot mess the rest of the day if I don't get it in. Or my son will get on my last nerves if I don't get it in. Relating back to how the health and fitness has helped with my depression and stuff. And then I really started to open up and write longer posts. I do write longer posts on my wall, and you guys are all welcome to go to my wall and maybe see kind of how I write my stuff. But I make it so I'm always, like Amy said, I'm always relating back to that person. So I've been sharing my story for the last 2 years. So things are still coming out that I've never shared before. So don't start off with something that you want to start. What do you want to start talking about? Could you give me an example and maybe I can?
I guess because of money, it's really weird to put for me, having a lot of student loan and medical debt, I want to open up about that, but I don't want it to seem like I'm selling a lot of stuff. So
okay, then say that.
Making a lot of money now. So
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I could just say how my fitness journey has helped me become more confident to where I'm able to pay off debt that I felt crippled by or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what you have to say. And say that. Say, I'm not posting this to boast. I'm not posting this to be cocky. I'm posting this because I genuinely know how it feels to be trapped with that $100,000s of dollars of debt or however much it is. And I want you to know that I can help you. I may not have all this debt paid off. I'm still in the process, but I'm thankful for the coaching opportunity, because I wouldn't have been introduced with this opportunity. I wouldn't be where I am today, able to pay off this debt and be able to pay it off quicker than if I wouldn't have had this in my life. Something like that, and tying it in. Do you see what I'm saying? So tying in bits and pieces with how the coaching opportunity has changed your life for that reason.
Yeah, because I think my coaching opportunity posts are what struggle the most to get good, like, you know, as far as like business builder kind of, you know, coaches. So that's what I need to, you know, better connect with people about.
Yeah. And, you know, and I struggled with that for a while too. I mean, I'm still learning things. I'm not an expert. And I think honestly, like building my team was a struggle at first, like finding coaches who really wanted it. I found a lot of people that just wanted the discount, and that really didn't do much for my business. So then once I really started to talk in the private messages too, and saying, hey, look, it's not easy. Like it does take a lot of work, and the first 3 months are overwhelming. But if you're ready and you want to change and you want to see what this can have for you, then you'd be perfect. You know, so like also in your private messages, making it noted that, you know, yeah, it does take hard work, but it's so rewarding. We get rewarded all the time. We're changing lives constantly. And I've had so many people say, yeah, I totally get it. That's totally fine. I'm ready to do it. You know, I've rarely actually had anyone say no and like disregard that. They're totally open to it, because then that lets them know too. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. Don't mind me. I'm just drinking my E&E at 6 p.m. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I need to get in the habit of sharing my stories more, but I tend to share like too much all at once. I guess I struggle with breaking up my sharing of my stories. So how do you like break it up, I guess, so you're not sharing everything like
Well, who told you, like, did someone specifically say you were sharing too much, or do you just think that you're sharing too much all at once?
I just feel like that's just me personally. I just feel like I'm sharing way too much at once.
Because I feel like that too sometimes, but I think that sometimes there needs to be certain things in there to tie along with what you want to get at.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, like I said, you guys can go look at my posts, but sometimes they're like 4 or 5 paragraphs. Like, okay. I personally do post long, but that's because I feel like, I mean, and it's not all the time. Like, for me too, like being consistent with posting, you need to be posting at least 3 to 5 times a day. And 80% of that is supposed to be your life, and 20% of that is supposed to be towards your business. So, I mean, I guess I would have to see like an example to really kind of see if it would be too much, because I don't like overestimate. What does it mean? Like underestimate yourself, I guess, for like your posts. Try and maybe narrow it down. Like if you like want one topic and maybe you think like you're rambling here, like maybe like edit it more. Cause I think that I spend a lot of time editing just to make sure that I'm not like rambling on, or if I could shorten up like a sentence to just be like 3 or 4 words, you know what I mean? So trying to just revise it and just looking at it. But if you think that that information needs to be there to get across your point and what you need, I don't think really anything's too long. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the top coaches, but some of their posts are like 12 to 15 paragraphs. So, I mean, I've seen some and I can't even read them all because they're just so long. So, you know, you just have to, I mean, it really is up to you. What you think is what's going to get out.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you post the same thing, like when you share your story, do you post the same thing on Instagram and Facebook, or do you try to make them separate but the same topic? Because I think I don't want to like post the same thing for like the Boom family and the 25-day or the 21-day fix and Instagram. Like I don't want to post the same thing, but not everyone's on the same thing.
Yeah.
So how do you choose?
I do both. So I post the I think she got cut off. Let me see.
Maybe she got booted.
Yeah, I think she got cut off. Let me see.
I really have no idea what happened. I was literally just about to text you. I was like, oh my gosh. It just like totally just like went off my screen. Okay, I'm really glad that I'm back. So yeah, so I post them on Instagram and on Facebook. I do both. I don't share. Okay, so I'm sure you guys follow Shalene Johnson. She's talked about how sharing from your Instagram to your Facebook actually doesn't get as much traction in your Facebook. So I share it on Instagram and then I just copy and paste it to my Facebook. Because yeah, she says that it gets more traction when it's like an actual post on Facebook versus a share, because basically you're sharing from Instagram, if that makes sense. And Facebook likes like new posts more. I don't know. So that's what I do. I just copy and paste. I don't share from Instagram. But yeah, and I use all the 30 hashtags on Instagram. So make sure you're using all your 30 hashtags.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Amy's
Hi.
sister.
Oh, cute.
So you say that you're really consistent with posting. Can you share for like, let's say like a newer coach, what would be like 3 things that you would be consistent with posting on a regular basis? And has that helped you with your business, with people like messaging you like maybe later on being like, hey, I've been following you for a while? Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize like when they're posting, people actually see it, but they don't message them, but people are watching.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because, I do have obviously people on my team who have fallen off and, they quit because they're like, I'm not seeing anyone, or, people aren't coming to me. I have people coming to me who have been watching me for the whole 2 years just now, saying, hey, I've been watching your journey for the last 2 years. If I would have quit, they would have never reached out to me. I wouldn't have seen those people that came on 2 years later. So for me, I guess I can just say what I would post in the beginning, like when I was a nanny and when I was in school and basically a full-time mom. I would just post my life. I'd be like, I need my Shakeology to get through my day. I would talk about the benefits of how Shakeology kept me awake, from 6 a.m. till I got home at 9 p.m. after school. So I would just talk about my life. I would talk about how I was really, once I started getting more with Beachbody, I started talking about how the support really helped me because I was so busy. Having those challenge groups to hold me accountable was really helpful for me because I had busy days and the only time I could get my workout in was at basically 5:30 in the morning if I wanted to get in a shower by myself without, having a 6-month-old right there. So really just sharing, I've just always really shared my life and how the support has really helped me with my busy schedule and being a single mom. Like, I don't know what I would have done without my team for 6 months. And I'm sure there's people on here that have husbands that travel all the time, stuff like that. Talk about that. Talk about how your team and your support has been so key. Also, like the healthy lifestyle thing. I have a kid, so I would talk about how I would make, home cooked clean mac and cheese. I was really into sharing my clean recipes at the beginning because that's what I was really starting to get into since I had found out I was allergic to dairy and I really cut out bread. So I was really starting to share what I had been starting to do in the beginning of my journey, but really just basically relating to my life and sharing. Because I was so busy. I would sit in the halls and answer messages for like 15, 20 minutes before I had to go into class. And I would even post about that. I probably worked in class too, and I probably shouldn't have, but I passed. And I was just really passionate about what I did. So, and I really just didn't care what people said, I guess. And I think that is a really big fear too of new coaches is sharing what you're doing and feeling you're going to annoy people. Well, yeah, you might annoy people if you're constantly posting stock pictures, but if you're constantly posting your life and what you're doing, you're not going to annoy people. You're going to attract the people who are supposed to be in your life. And if they're not supposed to be in your life, they're not supposed to be in your life. So they can press the unfollow button. I don't care. So yeah, I hope that helped.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was great. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
I think that fear factor is something that holds a lot of new coaches back. Like I know that was something that held me back, from posting on,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and definitely in the beginning, you'll have people that say things, but can you give an example of some like new coaches that kind of are fearful, but usually we know it's like the closest people to us that will say something. Do you have any advice for getting over that fear for new coaches?
Personal development. Honestly, I wasn't really big on personal development at the beginning of my journey. I was like, oh yeah, personal development, one of the 3 bad behaviors. Like, I'm sure it'll help, but you know, I'll do personal development like once a week. It really wasn't until the beginning of this year where I've been consistent with 10 pages a day, because I'm reading the site Edge, and he's been talking all about that and how just being consistent, if it's just 10 pages a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever, at least getting something. So I actually have, like, I can tell you a story of like someone that was really close to me that was like really negative. Like when I started, my sister actually wrote me a really like letter that just hurt me because it was my sister, you know. I was like, I found something I'm so passionate about. You know, I'd always felt like I was a failure. Like, why? You know, like, why write me this letter? And she basically was telling me how no one can be this happy. You know, how could you be so happy with your life? Like, all this stuff. And it was really hard. Like, it hit home. You know, I was like, am I doing something wrong now again? Like, you know, I just kind of had felt like I finally found something, and then it was like another stab. And then that was really when I was like, I just need to not even care. Like, this is my life. I know that I need to better my life to help my son because I'm 24 years old, and I knew working at a daycare or opening up a preschool, 1, would cost a lot of money to open up my own preschool, and 2, they really don't make that much money, and 3, it really wasn't my passion anymore. So I didn't want that to come off in any way with kids. I don't want to ever have them feel like I'm not passionate about being there with them, you know? So I would really just say that they'll come around because my sister's one of my biggest supporters now. You know, I can talk to her about anything in the business now. You know, I earned my free trip to Cancun. She's seen my success. People like want to see your success. I always tell my team, we're like their guinea pigs, honestly, because they're watching us and they're looking at us. And then when they start to see us have success, they're like, okay, I guess this is legit. Maybe I should talk to them now, and maybe I should reach out to them. So they just have to see you have success. We're their guinea pigs. We're the ones that are doing things out of the ordinary first to have people come and join our tribe, right? So just know that those people will definitely come around in the end. So it was just definitely a hard time, and it is. You do take it personal because they're the people closest to you. And like I said, I've lost a lot of friends, and now they're coming around 2 years later. So it just takes people time, but they have to be ready. Remember, we all didn't start right away. We all didn't say yes right away. Well, at least I didn't. So, you know, just remember how long it took you to get started and how long it's going to take other people to get started. You can't just think they're going to jump on right away because we all, or at least I didn't. I know probably you all didn't start right away either. So I try and have my team really look at how long did it take you? Did it take you 2 months, 4 months, 6 months? You know, that's probably how long it's going to take those people. So.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's see. Do we have any last questions for Emma? All right. Before we get off, I just have to show another thing that Emma's really good at is that she's very good at proof of the product. Check out these results. So sharing your journey in the, you know, your transformation with showing the products work as well is huge. So Emma, you do a really good job at that.
Thank you.
And do you, for people who like your stuff or comment, do you reach out to them?
Yeah, so usually when people start liking my stuff, I will make a mental note. And if they like it like 2 or 3 times, I'll reach out to them and just start a new conversation with them and start building a friendship. Also, if they message me, I'll usually comment back, but I'm always keeping like a mental note or I'm writing down who has been talking. And I do start 5 new conversations a day. So new conversations don't have to be like you've never talked to them before, but say you haven't talked to someone in like a year. That's definitely a new conversation. So I usually go look at their Facebook page and I'm just like, hey, how have you been? You know, I saw you went on vacation. What was your favorite part? Or, hey, congrats on getting into school. Are you really excited to start? Just making genuine conversations, and people will automatically turn to you and say, what have you been up to? What are you doing? Or, oh, I've seen your posts. It looks like you're doing really well. Whoa, I've never reached out to you before, but you've seen my posts. Like, just reach out to them, and it's going to come up in conversation. Trust me.
Amy, I have a question. Can you hear me?
This is my mom, Emma.
Yeah.
Hi, Emma.
Hi.
I don't know. I missed the beginning. Now, do you have upline support, or are you pretty much started on your own?
Yeah, I do have upline support. Not from my direct coach, but from her coach, Lauren Kaliski, and then Sarah Try also. So I'm in the Platinum Edge or whatever.
Oh, so are you with Christine Dwyer?
Yeah, in her downline.
Platinum presenters?
Yeah, Platinum presenters.
So do they have their own training? Like, do you plug your coaches in there, or have you started your own team from you down?
No, I actually have my own team. I actually just created a new training. It's like a 50-minute webinar, and it has everything you need to know in it.
So do you just plug your coaches in and your coaches, or do you do Zoom calls?
My coaches, and we do team calls for my team. My team's Team Let Your Light Shine. And my success partner is Alexa Campbell. If you don't have a success partner either, it's a great thing. And she is, we do our team calls together.
So do you do your trainings on the team call, or do you just plug your coaches into a training?
No, I just plug them into a training. So when I get a new coach that signs up on the team, if it's my personally sponsored, I send them an email. And if it's theirs, I give them the email that I send, and they can do what they want with it, but they're welcome to use it and send it. I have a welcome video on it, and then my 50-minute webinar is on that training. And then after that, they set up the Getting Started Right call with me. So that way they've watched this webinar, they can see what's covered, and then they can write down their questions, and they can ask me on the GSR.
So are you doing a Get Started Right with every coach on your team, or just your own personally sponsored?
Just my own personally sponsored. My coaches who are signing up coaches have their own GSR. Now, if they're new and they're just signing up coaches, I do usually a 3-way one with them so that they can kind of see how, the Getting Started Right call goes, I guess, since they're new.
Oh, okay. Just one other question about, the Beachbody, they really come up with new training by rank. Do you plug them into that, or have you looked at it?
I tried to do like a diamond or like one of those diamond push groups. I just didn't see much success with it, honestly. We just actually did a recruiting dash. So it wasn't even like diamond specific. It was just recruiting dash, where they had to sign 6 coaches within 6 weeks and get 2 emeralds on their team. They had to be new emeralds.
Wow.
And everyone who went into that group donated $50. The pot was like $8,000 or $9,000, and there was 15 people who reached that goal.
Was that from the Platinum presenters, or just your team?
No, we just in Team Triceps, it was all, we have like a diamond group, and it was all the diamonds who like led it. We have like a bunch of diamonds in the downline, so it was literally 2 people a day. So like you got 2 days of the group, and you posted, what you wanted to talk about, your topic, and there was Zoom calls.
Wow.
And so, yeah, people just really took off with it. I thought it was a really good idea. I think we're actually maybe going to do one again after Summit. But yeah, I saw in the chat box about the webinar. Yeah, I can share with you the webinar.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome.
I don't know if any of you guys follow Raina Odell. You know who she is?
Yeah.
You know who she is, Amy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this from her. She did Sarah's team call, and so I kind of just went off of what she was doing.
Yeah, we did I can't remember what we called it. It was kind of like what you're talking about, and we threw in money. We did it with I don't know if you know Kelly Hanner, Tubby to Toned.
Yeah.
We did it with her team and Michelle Myers and stuff. And I think that I liked that because I feel like it was more different teams getting together and stuff. So
yeah, that's what it was. It was like a bunch of teams. Like we weren't all like associated anyway, really, but
yeah.
I don't know why my channel is not opening. I just shared it on my team. Any other questions while I'm searching for this link? And if I can't get it, I can always send it to Amy.
I have a question, another question. For those on Instagram, because sometimes it's so hard to see like where people are from unless they post it or it's like another language. If they're interested, but we don't, like Shakeology doesn't go to them, how do we, like, what do you say to them? Like, sorry, doesn't really reach you, or like, what do you say to people who can't do it because of their location?
I just say that we're not able to do it because of customs, because I know that, I mean, because when we were at leadership, I think I asked this, or someone asked if they were going to take it, you know, international or whatever. And they were like, we're not worried about it right now. I think if they're military, you can get it to them somehow, even if it's like, because I know like Tara Carr was in Japan for like 5 years and she got Shakeology somehow. So I think that if it's military, there's different circumstances. Yeah. But otherwise, I just say, you know, I'm sorry, I'll let you know when we come to wherever they are. But there's nothing really we can do about it. It's basically customs, honestly. Beachbody is probably working with them. Because I even know Canada has troubles sometimes. So, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, someone posted in the about military.
Oh, okay. Emma, thank you so much for getting on our call. It's always good to have
Yeah.
person get on, so we don't have
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Here, I found the link. Let me share it in this chat box.
Okay, cool.
So write it down.
What track are you doing for Summit?
I hope that works, that link. I am doing Silver C.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What are you doing? Have you decided? It worked? Okay, good.
Yeah, I signed up. I'm doing blue. I think C,
Oh,
whatever. But
it'll be fun. I'm super excited.
yeah, definitely. All right, awesome. Well, we like to end our call with on the count of 3, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Boom! That was kind of lame.
Body build.
Say hi, Aim. Amy, say hi to me.
Oh, she's so cute.
You're wearing the same color shirt. You're going to Alaska?
Yeah, on Friday. Oh, I'm going to Seattle on Friday. I'm in Alaska on Sunday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're going to go to Denali?
Yeah, we're hiking Denali National Park.
I'd like to go there.
Yeah, I'm excited. All right, so let's sing.